Welcome to episode 2 of Hawk and Dawk Talk. Should be Dawk and Hawk Talk. I'm here with the face of Penn State basketball, along with the ugliest face on Penn State football. Just great to have everybody in the building.
Just three light-skinned guys here talking a little sports. We're here with Myles Grant, Maryland guy. Now, Myles, before we even begin, I want to ask you, why is it that Maryland guys can't seem to stop talking about where they're from?
Athletically, we have the best athletes in the country. That's a fact.
Allegedly.
We produce more Division I basketball players in a small area than anywhere else in the country. We produce high-level pros overseas in the NBA, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Division I basketball players. Actually, the player of the year in college basketball was from the DMV area. Luka Garza played on Team Takeover. But we just produce guys. That's the bottom line.
When I was in the 6th grade, I played for the All Ohio Purple, and we won a tournament in Columbus. You may have been at it actually. You might remember I dropped 30 and 10 in 3 quarters.
Even in a game against the School of the Blind, he's not dropping more than 2 points. He's fouling out in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you look like a defensive, not even specialist. You just look like a foul person.
Okay, all right.
You got 5 fouls, you're gonna use them.
We're not gonna even acknowledge that. My roommate, PJ Mustipher, senior defensive tackle PJ Mustipher, potential captain of Penn State football, actually played you in middle school. Now, if you ask PJ, and Nick will attest to this, PJ was like Kevin Garnett and Shaq mixed.
Yeah, that's what he called himself.
Tell the story.
Locomotive Diesel.
Please tell us something differently about how he was as an athlete growing up.
PJ was very, very big and strong. We knew that basketball wasn't his calling. We knew that he was going to be making a lot of money playing football one day. Granted, he had great hands, great feet. Me and PJ actually guarded each other for many years, probably from the 4th grade to the 7th grade. You know, me and PJ developed a great relationship, and he's a great friend of mine. So, outside of basketball, he's one of those people that I can talk to and kick it with.
That's awesome.
Future guest on the Hawk and Dawk Talk, along with one of our other roommates out of the 5. So, they'll be having him on there too.
Gotta have PJ on. PJ is one of those guys that never knows when to stop talking.
Yeah, just like Aeneas. That's why they're so close together, because he's enthralled by the own sound of his voice.
Yeah.
I hear him in his room sometimes just talking to himself.
Yeah,
and I asked him about it as to why he's talking to himself. He said, I need to consult a professional. I don't know what that means.
Let's get back on track here with the topics at hand. What I'm learning is this is only episode 2, Myles. And already I'm having an issue with keeping him on task. You know, he's a talented kid, but he's misguided. And that's the bottom line on him. Not important though. Myles, obviously, you were a successful high school athlete at at Gonzaga. Gonzaga, not quite the Matha, but terrific high school nonetheless. What was your experience like in recruiting, and how would you compare a high-level basketball recruit to like a superstar football recruit like Nick Dawkins?
So, I was not heavily recruited like Nick Dawkins was.
I was not heavily recruited. He was a 5-star, by the way.
Out of high school, it's in my area, dudes that you play with in AAU, like they're gonna get offers because they're just good at basketball. Like you're around people that are excellent basketball players. So a lot of people get discouraged that they're not getting offers after freshman year, and you're kind of like looking at them like, bro, you're a freshman. Like you don't get offers as a freshman. That's an anomaly. In football, if you're big and strong and can move, and you put a pair of pads on, you're more than likely probably going to get an offer.
I told him the same thing.
So, and my recruiting process was kind of slow at first. A lot of my friends were getting the offers that I wanted. I got a couple low major offers my sophomore year, and then Penn State actually was the first big school to offer me. And then in that summer, after my sophomore year, I committed. So I committed really, really early, but it took a lot of weight off my shoulders that I didn't really have to worry about, like, who's going to offer me, who's in the stands watching. Like, I just committed, and it just helped me get a lot better. and then came to college and came and produced. Football, on the other hand, you see a lot more decommitments, changing where they're going.
Yeah,
people commit as a freshman. I've seen people change from going to Florida State to now I'm going to go to Maryland, and I'm going to end up at, JMU. Like, it's the craziest thing to me. Football, it's people commit a place and then still go on visits to other places. It's like the craziest thing. I've never seen anything like that. So
No doubt.
it's a little confusing, but it's their culture. So I'm just letting that.
No doubt. You mentioned you were, like you said, able to come in and pretty immediately produce. Do you think that part of that is because you weren't spending time on the back end of your high school career focused on recruiting? It was all ball. Like, do you think that played a part in it?
Absolutely. I think that was definitely part of the decision that I made. Also, I chose a school that I saw an opportunity for myself to be able to come in and produce early and perform at the highest level.
No doubt.
Now, being close to home, did that play a big factor in your decision?
That was probably the biggest factor. I wanted to play in the Big Ten because I'm originally from Detroit. So, like, playing against schools in Michigan and then also having Maryland be in the Big Ten, too, is like I'm playing at home 3 or 4 times a year. So that was, and Penn State's only 3 hours from home, so it's not too far from my family.
Made too much sense.
Yeah.
Made way too much sense. Nick is laughing right now. He doesn't know why. Okay, this is the problem. He doesn't focus.
And see, he says that I looked at him. He's a funny looking guy. I gotta laugh when I see him. So I didn't want to have to be the one to say it, but he brought it out of me. That's all it is, though.
Real quick, you see the shirt he's wearing. We're wearing matching shirts today. I got us some shirts. You get some time. You check out Social Introvert on Instagram. Great apparel. Black-owned business.
Black-owned business.
Black-owned
Always
business.
support
Check it out. Absolutely. Now, back to the basketball tip, Myles. I know we touched on it briefly, but again, I did play basketball in middle school. I know you just tried to brush over that like it didn't matter. Okay? Which I didn't appreciate. If we were to play, hypothetically, like a game to 11, okay?
11-0.
There was no hesitation. 11-0.
Yeah.
Give me the why.
I trained very hard every single day to be the best basketball player I could possibly be.
Now,
You train hard every day to be the best football.
You said train hard. You can take that out of the equation, too. So he just trained. That's all he does.
this is interesting here because Myles and I are in the same summer Spanish class. And when we get our breaks from Spanish, Myles often talks about how football and basketball traits are very similar because he thinks everybody who plays basketball could just go play in the NFL. So
that's what I said.
Let's reel it back in here. All right, you train hard, I train hard. A lot of the skills are the same, as you can tell by our body types. Okay, you don't think I'm scoring at least 6 points?
No.
It's crazy. You invite somebody onto your podcast, and they just.
I mean, like, no, bro. I don't think so.
All right.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Another big thing, JB. Did you I know he got collected most of his Division I football scholarships off of JV football film. Did you even play JV basketball?
No.
Let's make sure that.
This will be the last time I touch on this topic. Again, you were talking about how in high school, okay, there was a lot of talent in your area, and it took longer for guys to develop and turn into college athletes. Okay.
No, I don't think I didn't. I guess I should rephrase how that was stated.
So
There's a lot of talent in this area, meaning that the older guys are going to get a lot of the shine. So the guys that do play on JV, more than likely, if they lived in another city, maybe like Cincinnati,
Of course, yeah, man.
Cincinnati.
or Harrisburg,
I'm not from there, so
or,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so like, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah, I
just a
agree.
bigger city, where if they played on a varsity team, like they would probably play on varsity, start on varsity.
You can look up some of the athletes that have come out of Cincinnati. Let me give you a list.
One of them. Notice how one of the names would not be Aeneas Hawkins. I'll continue the list on my bad. That's on me.
LeBron James, who
Came
I know
from
he
Cincinnati.
knows. He,
I thought he was from Akron.
Ohio. Let's say Ohio. Let's take Cincinnati.
So
Let's
you
go Ohio.
see how you're using the
LeBron, Floyd Mayweather from Cincinnati.
But we're talking about basketball, bro.
I'm
Have
pretty
you
sure
seen Floyd play
Dwayne
basketball?
Wade in 2006 is when he left Cincinnati, when he went to the Heat. You can look that up. You can Google that. So Cincinnati athletes are underrated.
Did Dwayne Wade win a championship in 2006 in Miami?
Is that That's inconvenient for us. Anyway, I'll let you go ahead.
I just attest to his mental toughness and mental strength of just recollecting facts off the top of his dome. You know, he's a big head. You think that he'd be able to get it off, but it's just not something he's able to do.
There are good Cincinnati athletes, and the fact that I played JV does not take away from that statement. Okay, I ended up playing varsity. That'll be the last time we cover this topic. Myles, back to basketball. Okay, you and I came in the same class.
Yes.
Okay, Nick was still like 13 and a half.
Yeah.
We was here.
Yeah,
we were freshmen together. I've seen you from a distance grow up as a person, as a player. Talk to me about what you think are your biggest areas of growth just since you've gotten here as an 18-year-old.
Wow. I've learned how to take care of myself just as an adult, like just living on your own. Like you'd be surprised my freshman year dorm, like the way when my mom came in to pick me up the last day of freshman year, she was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, are you serious?" But like now, you know, everybody has a dirty room every once in a while, but like certain stuff is just
too much.
Yeah, too much. Like certain stuff is like
right.
And then everybody in college, especially athletes, they go through a time where their mental isn't like 100%, you know, there. Like you're just kind of like, I feel maybe not a depression, but you're kind of like, you know, I'm tired. It just gets tough, especially during the season. Mm-hmm. But like as I've gotten older, like I've taken those mental lapses or those mental fogs and still been able to be productive. Like you heard of that freshman wall. A lot of freshmen hit that wall and they're like, I have no more to give. I'm done. But over time, you hit that wall and then you find a way to push through. And I think that's a lot of where my maturity came in.
No doubt. I think, Nick, you can go ahead if you want.
No, go ahead. No,
I was just going to say, you and I kind of had a similar experience where when you get here as a freshman, you know, you go from being a highly touted recruit.
Not me, you, but
again, you go from being a good recruit, a scholarship player, you come in and you're just not ready to produce. And that happens especially in football, just because of the sheer physicality.
Right.
And a lot of people who are watching, whether they be fans or just high school football players, haven't experienced that, so they wouldn't know. So, Nick, you want to talk about like some of the things you experienced? Like,
when I first came in, obviously I'm an offensive lineman, so I understand that it's going to take a little longer to develop and such. But when you first come out there, you got to realize you're going against grown men. They've been in there, they've been training collegiate workouts for so long. You have to understand that you're not going to be able to do what you was doing. In high school, I was walking like 200-pound dudes, and that was still like a struggle. Like I was still moving them, but like you got like a 270-pound D lineman, you're like, this is going to be a long one. He's a heavy dude. Now you like hoping the dude's 270, but if he is, then he's running like a 4.4. So then you have to understand that, and then you really have to dive into your fundamentals and your techniques, and you got to get used to doing boring stuff and making it fun, and just getting used to doing like working on your technique, because you can overuse your athleticism coming out of high school, because you're usually, if you're going playing at these upper like higher level schools, you're gifted more in athleticism, but you can't do that because there's always somebody out there that's working harder than you, or there's someone out there that's more athletic than you. So you have to do what you need to do in order to be better than them, and usually that comes with technique or playbook and stuff like that.
No doubt. Real quick, my first snap here as a Penn State football player, I didn't do my research. I didn't know everybody on the roster. We're in half line of Skelly, which is like pass rush with half the line. There's this kid, number 66. It's my first rep. I didn't know who he was. You guys know Connor McGovern, 3rd-round draft pick for the Dallas Cowboys. I come in, all I'm seeing is the big kid that I'm about to hit a spin move on, all right, like I did in high school. I tried to hit that spin move, and Connor McGovern, all 6'6" of them, punched me so hard in my chest that I flew and landed on my rear end. And I panicked a little bit. It's my first play, first experience. I look up to my position coach, Sean Spencer, who's now with the New York Giants, ready for him to maybe, coach me, tell me it's going to be okay. He's laughing like he's at a Kevin Hart's game. Like it was like the funniest thing he had seen. So and where I thought it would end after that play, it really just proceeded for the next 2 years. I'm experiencing this. So, you got to be prepared. It's a different level when you step into this game. No doubt about it.
Now with NIL coming, I know there's a big discrepancy. So with football players, it's a little different because we wear face masks. It's harder to see people's faces and know some people couldn't pick Nick Chubb out of a lineup. But with you being a basketball player, people recognize you with your face. How are you taking advantage of the new NIL, or are you more focused on the general mission?
Yeah, so I'm doing my best to try to stay focused on the task at hand, which is just to get better at basketball because you can't be profitable if you're not producing on the court. In doing that, you know, the opportunities that I've taken, I've been trying to post more on social media. Like, I've never really been a big post guy. Everything I did post was basketball. So, like, I'm trying to branch out a little bit more. And then I'm trying to make myself more marketable and profitable, like you said, because people do recognize my face and see me. I want to do things that would, one, make myself more profitable, but two, help build my brand for not just now, but for the future. Say if I decide to go into a professional career, certain brands or certain markets may push towards a guy like me as opposed to somebody who you can't necessarily see their face. So,
you think a lot of guys are going to lose sight of the mission in this midst of all this opportunity?
Unfortunately, yes. I mean, I wish it didn't happen, but people lose sight of the mission, you know, when their numbers has to change. Like, it happens all the time, but a lot of people, they want to focus on the immediate satisfaction of, you know, a couple $1,000s in your college career as opposed to what could be on the other side of your degree. So
for sure,
I'm focused on, you know, I want to be able to live comfortably in college and have some fun, but I really want to, you know, pursue a professional career, and I think that's where the real money is.
For sure. No, that's great, man. I mean, at the end of the day, people are always going to lose sight of like stuff like that because short-term thinking and long-term thinking, but there has to be people who think short-term for people long-term to succeed. So I understand completely what you're talking about.
Keep the main thing the main thing.
That's all it is.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, Myles, it's been an absolute privilege and honor to have the face of Penn State basketball on Hawk and Dawk Talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Your time is greatly appreciated. You enjoy the rest of your night, brother.
You too.
Okay.
Appreciate having you on. Absolutely.
Take Drake,
Come on, man.
One take Drake.